Alright, so here it is. You already read the video description, you know what this is. Redcat Machete 6S. I opted for the 6S model because I don't really plan on upgrading it right away. I know a lot of people will talk about just getting the 4S model and they will, you know, just put different electronics in it. But for me, 6S, that means I can run it on 6S and 4S, and I can kind of compare the two that way. So here's Dawson. He's excited. He wants to get it out of the box here.
Yeah.
Packaged pretty well.
I would think keep this in securely.
Alright, so let's get this thing out. Alright, so here it is. This is the Redcat Machete 6S model. The tires feel pretty good. They're pretty soft tires there, so we'll see how that does on a speed run. I know it's 4-wheel drive, but either they have really thick differential oil, or maybe mine's not 4-wheel drive. We shall see. But I do know it's 4-wheel drive because I can see the drive shaft right here. It is an exposed drive shaft, so you just got to be careful when you're putting stuff in, especially things like wiring, stuff like that. I'm just going to have to make sure everything's nice and secure so it doesn't get caught up in the center drive shaft here. But it's all aluminum. It's got a nice aluminum support bar to connect the front and rear together. It's a pretty long chassis here. They say it's 70-75 aluminum, and this is 4 millimeters thick. So we'll see how that chassis holds up to some high jumps. It looks like the control arms are the same on the front and the back. There's possibly going to be a left and a right, but it looks like they're the same, kind of along the lines of the way the X-Max does it. What I think is cool is this comes with a sway bar, and the sway bar mounts on either side here of that lower control arm. So like I said, when it's on the front, the sway bar will be, you know, on this side, and then the shock will be on that side. So pretty much the same there. Now I do notice an L and an R on the upper control arm here, so those are going to be different, but maybe underneath it says R. No, they're completely different. These turnbuckles look absolutely massive, and they look massive compared to these turnbuckles on the steering arm here. We'll see how long those last, and as well as these back here. But these control arms, I don't think those are going to break unless the metal itself breaks, but those look pretty stout. It is a pretty stout little truck. They put a pretty heavyweight shock oil in there. I think that's going to absorb some bumps pretty good. Are we going to take it off some jumps? Are we going to take it off some jumps?
And probably smash by in half.
I don't know. We'll see. I don't think so. I mean, everything on here feels pretty good. They use an XT90 connector.
You'll probably break the wing mount like your
You think we will? You think we will break the wing mount? I don't know. The wing mount looks pretty solid. The only thing I don't like is that the wheelie bar is also integrated into it.
You tortured your XRT like that.
I know I did. And then we're gonna torture this one as well. We're gonna see how it holds up. I like the wheels. I think they look really good. 6S, just in case you were unaware. They use 17 millimeter hexes, so that's awesome. That means that there's probably going to be, you know, right away you're going to have a ton of different wheel options for this. But I'm curious to see. Redcat parts are pretty affordable. I wouldn't say cheap; they're just affordable. So I've seen, you know, Redcat wheels and tires go for a pretty decent price. So if these things hold up, I'll probably just get the stock wheels and tires and throw them on. So that's yet to be seen. Now I do know that for a while Redcat was using Hobbywing stuff, so I wouldn't be surprised if this is some version of a Hobbywing ESC and motor combination. This does have a 2100 kV motor in here and a 6S ESC, so should have plenty of power. Now weight wise, it is a little bit on the heavy side. So what do you think, Dawson?
Heavier.
If I were to compare it to
the Losi.
Well, if I were to compare it to the Losi's way heavier. If I were to compare it to the Sledge, I'd say this probably outweighs the Sledge a little bit. So I don't know if that's going to work in its favor, but that's yet to be seen. Waterproof. You know, the electronics are waterproof, so that's a good thing. Steering feels nice and smooth.
How big are the tires going to turn on the speed run?
We're going to see how big they're going to turn, because that's the first thing we're going to do when we get our batteries.
Probably explode on your camera.
I hope not. So the XT90 plug, I don't have anything currently that has an XT90 plug, so I do have that stuff on the way. Unfortunately, I won't be able to get this thing running tonight, so that's a bummer, but yeah, good things come to those who wait, I guess. So I don't know, we're gonna see. They use the Hexfly high torque steering servo. I'm not quite sure what the kilograms rating is on that, but they do use the Hexfly stuff, and I've heard mixed emotions about that, so I'll try it out myself and see how it works. You get to drive it as well. You drove the Traxxas Max, so yeah, you get to drive this as well.
Yeah.
So it's all metal gears. So it's all metal drivetrain. You got your dog bones up front here.
They're tiny.
Yeah, they're pretty decent. I mean, they're not as big as some that I've seen, but they're pretty decent.
Try and tire my face.
It looks like, actually, that's pretty cool, Dawson. It looks like these outer arms here are also universal. So let me pop a wheel off here. Let me see if, I'm going to open this box over here and see if tools come in it. Alright, so here it is with the wheels off. Now, it does look like what I thought. So maybe if this breaks, I can take this, I can swap it with that side, because the front and back are the same, and probably vice versa, front and back. So uses the arm on this side, and it does not use it on this side, but it does use it here. So at least I could probably, at a minimum, if I break this, I can take this and swap it front and back. So that's really cool, actually, that they did that. So there's a lot of forethought into that. You know, this stuff here looks, I mean, okay. Let's see if anything breaks. I am going to go around this whole truck before I run it the first time. I'm just going to check to make sure all the bolts are tight. And anything that goes into metal, I'm going to make sure it has Loctite on it. But that's a really cool feature there. If you want tools for your Redcat, unfortunately it does not come with them, so you're going to need to get your own tools before you do any type of wrenching on here, because yeah, it only comes with a controller, which feels like a decent controller. It's a Redcat brand controller. The trigger feels like it'll work. I wouldn't say cheap, but it works. The steering's nice. Got a bunch of different settings on a controller. So if you're familiar with Redcat, I'm sure that this isn't anything special. I'm sure it's probably pretty standard. So you've got your steering, dual rate adjustments. I think that's for setting your endpoints. You've got throttle trim, steering trim. You can reverse your steering. You've got binding. You know, you can reverse your steering or reverse your throttle. So pretty standard controller. Looks cool. Should work. Does not come with batteries, so you're gonna have to provide your own batteries for the controller. Same thing with the truck. This also included, it looks like an antenna and a bind plug. So that's what it came with. I'm gonna have to read the instructions to see exactly what this stuff is, but looks like an antenna and a bind plug. And then you get a bunch of stickers so you can number it up. I don't know what number I'm going to go with yet, but got stickers to do so, and a little bit of an instruction manual here, starter guide, quick start guide. I think online they have a better instruction manual. But no, so far everything's looking pretty good. Like I said, this is the only thing I'm concerned with. This is the only thing that looks like it's going to be a weak link, both the front and back. But again, that's yet to be seen. I don't really care if the sway bar breaks. It's not a big deal to me, but yeah, this here, I think that's going to be an issue. Shocks, aluminum bodied shock. They have plastic ends, so we'll see how they hold up. Looks like it's braced really well up here on the bulkhead up here, and looks like this suspension arm should be pretty good. That looks like a pretty stout control arm down there. Differentials, you can't really see them, but looks like it's pretty decent bracing. I don't know, I'd like to see more triangulation on here with bracing. I think this long bar here is going to be an issue. I think that's probably going to bend first couple big jumps, but hey, that's what we're going to find out. The really cool feature about this is the battery tray. So if you put a standard battery in there, I call it standard because all I have is Traxxas stuff, you see that the battery does not fit in there currently. If you look in here, there's a little number down here. It says 160 millimeter. So if you look underneath the truck, I can actually take and I can extend the battery tray. So I can take the battery tray and I can extend it out to this 160 mark, and I can fit longer batteries in there. So if I want to run one 4S pack, I'm gonna have to extend it, but it will fit. So that's kind of cool. So it can fit, it can accommodate smaller batteries, and it can accommodate a slightly longer battery. We'll see how these straps work. I mean, they're Velcro, so Velcro straps seem to work pretty well. We'll see if they fly out. But that's pretty much on here. If there's anything you guys want to see, I mean, feel free to leave a comment. I'll go over anything else in detail. I'm just kind of quickly touching on stuff. The body feels like it's pretty solid. I might shoe glue and drywall tape this, but not for the first couple runs. We'll see how it holds up for those. They do have some skid plates here, and they are replaceable. Skid plates up front here, and a nice skid plate up in the front here. So I do believe that that stuff's all going to be replaceable. But body looks good. I think the truck looks really cool. And if you're running like in the dirt there, I don't think a lot of dirt's going to get up into the body. This side sill here offers quite a bit of protection for both the motor and ESC, so I think you'll be pretty well protected from dust and dirt. It looks like it's going to snow when I first run this, so we'll see where the snow gets packed up in this thing. Now guys, I'm no unboxing expert, so I'm sure there's stuff I missed. I'm sure there's things that you'd like to know about this truck. I'm more concerned with how it runs. So as soon as I get batteries, we're going to take this thing out. We're going to see how fast it goes. We're going to see how far it flies, how high it goes in the air, how it handles off-road, rock hills, dirt piles, stuff like that. We're gonna put it through its paces, and we're gonna see what this thing can handle. Now, right now when I'm filming this, parts aren't available for this truck yet. They don't have any of the parts released. Actually, this truck came out before they thought it was going to. So yeah, does that mean I'm going to take it lightly? Not necessarily. So we'll see if it survives one battery pack. But that's going to do it for this video, guys. Again, drop any comments below if you feel I missed something, if there's something else you'd like to see, or anything else you're interested on this truck. You know, I don't mind making another video on it, or even just making a short. So, but that's the truck. That's kind of what I know about it. I'm going to learn more as I bash it, and you know, I'll let you guys know what I find with it, and you know, but how cool is it? How cool it is? How cool is it? You know, whatever, however you want to say it. But we'll see you in the next one, guys.